Yo, how you lovely creatures doing right now? So today I wanted to talk to you guys about Xbox. I know I don't usually do that, but this was a very interesting topic that I thought was worth making, and I couldn't skip out on. So I wanted to give my opinion, talk about what the rumor is, make sure I open the conversation so you guys can talk about it in the comments down below. But what is it? Apparently Microsoft is getting ready to buy another major publisher soon or something, or so says the rumor as of right now. So it's nothing official, nothing very crazy or that's gonna happen, but it's a rumor as of right now. And to me, I think it's just kind of crazy. Like, really, Microsoft, just after buying ZeniMax and Bethesda and all of those games and development studios, they want to buy another one. Like, wow, okay. Okay, Microsoft, they've been very aggressive, and I think that the first purchase, it was fine, they needed it. Xbox practically had barely any good exclusives the whole life cycle. They kind of relied on just being more powerful and the third-party games and all of that. Sony never really had problems with that. So I get the whole Bethesda thing. They needed, a big boost. And also all those other studios that they bought, like Obsidian and the new studio that they built, like the Initiative, whatever. I get all of that. But then to buy another big publisher, I don't know how I feel about that, Chief. Like, everything else before that, I think was fine. You buy small studios, you build your own studios, and then you make one big purchase. I think that's fine. Completely fine. You're being aggressive. You show people you're being serious, and you want to have content for Game Pass. I completely agree. But now, when you're telling me that you want to buy another big publisher, such as Sega or whatever it is that people talk about these days, I think that's bullshit. And I'm not saying that because, I prefer PlayStation a little bit. I still want Xbox to do good because of the fact that I know how Sony gets if Microsoft doesn't give them a run for its money. Look at the PS3. So I want Xbox to be doing good, trust me. But at the same time, I don't want them to buy every fucking company. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel forced to play all the games I already love, such as like Doom or Fallout, all of that. Like, I don't want to feel forced. Those games that I played before and that I love, for example, and that everybody else in the industry loves. Like, we don't want to feel forced to have to buy an Xbox for that, because Xbox is just throwing money at all of them. You know what I mean? Like, how would you feel if all of a sudden, like, they bought EA, and then although like Battlefields and shit like that was exclusive to Xbox? Like, to me, I think that's bullshit, and that's just kind of lazy, because of the fact that they're just taking what's already popular instead of building from themselves. Like, if you build a company and then you also make the games originally, like you make them and then they're exclusive, then nobody can complain because you made that. And that's what I think Sony does very well. They take studios that aren't very well known or very big, and they turn them into killers. Like, for example, Naughty Dog used to make cartoony games back in the day, and they were good, but they it wasn't like anything crazy. They weren't anything special. They weren't considered one of the best studios, but look how like they developed under Sony. And same thing with Guerrilla Games. They used to only make the Killzone games, and they were good, but it was nothing to write home about. Now they're like very well respected, especially after Horizon Zero Dawn. And same thing with Santa Monica Studios. I mean, they've always made good God of War games, but like this last one, especially with the platform of PS4, it just seems like Santa Monica Studios is getting a lot bigger, a lot better, and that's just how all of Sony's developers have gotten better and bigger under Sony. Sony has developed it, and nobody on PC or Xbox can really say like, oh, you took those games away from us because Sony bought them. That's not true. Sony built them, and that's the difference I see. Like I said, I have no problem with Microsoft buying Bethesda. They needed it, and sometimes it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do. But if they start buying Sega, then they start buying Capcom, then they start buying whatever it is they buy, I just think that's shitty and lazy, and that's not gonna be good for the gaming industry. You do not want a gaming industry where everything is owned by two companies, because Sony's definitely gonna like try and retaliate a little bit, buy something back, do a little response. Obviously Sony will lose the bidding wars. Microsoft just has way too much money, and I know a lot of you like to say this, and it's true. Yeah, I agree. Like, you don't have to tell me that, but at the end of the day, if Microsoft owns like 75% of all gaming companies or whatever, too many, I don't think that's going to be good. Then you're going to be forced to buy a subscription. I personally don't like subscriptions because while yes, it's good for people, you know, in accessibility, people who don't have money like that, for people who truly care about games, you want to play games whenever you want. And the thing with subscriptions is that you never really own the game. Like if you stop paying for the subscription, all the games that you had, all the games you made progress on, all those are gone, and you can no longer play them. So to me, I think that's kind of shitty in a way, because games is not the same thing as movies. I don't really care. I watch the movie, I come back. So that's why Netflix and HBO and shit like that works. For me, games, well, it's a great thing, you know, for accessibility, and a lot of people that play games casually don't really care. For the hardcore gamer, I think that subscriptions can serve as an option to try games, but not a platform where you really get the games you care about. Because let's say one day you don't want to pay for the subscription, or for whatever reason you want to cancel it, then that means that you have no access to your games, and I don't see that as, you know, the best option. But that's just me personally. Like, please tell me what you guys think in your own opinion. But I just want to say that I personally do not want Microsoft to buy a major acquisition that's been rumored so far. It's just kind of shitty and lazy, like I said. And if Sony were to do the same thing, I'd also feel the same way. Like recently, up until before the ZeniMax deal with Microsoft, I didn't want Sony to really buy anybody. But then after Microsoft bought that, I know for a fact it's not me necessarily who wants them to buy them, but Sony's definitely gonna retaliate one way or the other. That's just how Sony works. It's their business, one of the major businesses at Sony Corporation. So, you know, they gotta make sure that they stay on top of that if they're being smart. So I know Sony's gonna do something to some sort to respond to Microsoft. But yeah, like, I just don't like the idea of companies buying everything and then owning everything, and then us, the consumer, we're gonna end up losing at the end of the day if that happens, and nobody's gonna be benefiting from this. Because at the end of the day, man, like, if you're playing on one platform and all of a sudden, like, you can't play games that you used to play, then that's shitty. You know what I mean? It's completely different if Microsoft builds their own games, buys small studios, and makes new IPs, and you know, that nobody can complain about that. But yeah, just don't take away my games that I'm used to playing everywhere. You know what I mean? That's all I want. That's all I care about. So yeah, if this rumor, which is still a rumor, it could be fake, ends up being true, I hope it's just a small studio or something, you know, something like that. You know, oh, it's just this indie studio that we bought so we can, you know, fund them and make sure they make good games. That's great. Awesome. You know, now those people can make games that they couldn't before because now they have Microsoft money or whatever. But if you're taking my games, don't fuck with my games, Microsoft. I'm telling you, like, I play on PC and PlayStation, but a lot of the times I just typically play on PlayStation because I don't have the money to upgrade my computer. I have a good graphics card, but my CPU is shit and I need to upgrade it, but I don't have the money, and that would mean I would run games kind of shitty because my CPU will be the bottleneck. So because of that, I don't want to be forced to like get an Xbox. Because of that, I already have my platform set up on PlayStation. I still, you know, can play Xbox games on PC, and that's where I like would play any Xbox exclusives that I want. But like games that I want to play on my PS4, I don't want to be forced to, you know, have to play them on my PC, where it wouldn't be as good because my PC right now is not the best. And yeah, just that's just how I think. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. This was me just kind of ranting away, talking about this. Thinking what's on my mind. It's been on my mind for a while now, ever since I made those other videos kind of talking about like Sony buying shit and Microsoft buying Bethesda. I'll put those in the cards. But yeah, if you guys like this video, like I said, leave a like, subscribe, add more content, and yeah, that's been it. Thank you guys, and peace. Crack it.